Where is Ethel Nalule? Ethel's a rock star. She's a Lyme rock star. She is a Lyme disease activist, just 18 years of age. She's a student at Trent University. She's studying a joint major in forensic sciences and psychology in the hopes of getting into tick-borne disease research. And we couldn't be more happy to have you. Ethel Nalule.
We grow up believing that when we are ill, we can always turn to a doctor for help. That a doctor will always be there for us to figure out what it is that's going on and guide us back to our former state of health. At least, that's what I thought. My story is a lot like every Lyme disease story you hear, was finally diagnosed after years of searching for answers. The only thing that differentiates mine is how I found out about what Lyme disease was. I had been undergoing a lot of tests when I walked past a girl in my high school in a wheelchair. I had remembered her from the day before because I would sit and watch the gymnastics team and she had been dancing the previous day. So out of concern, I asked her what had happened. She told me that she had Lyme disease, but I had never heard of Lyme disease, so I decided to look it up. I also read through every Facebook article she'd post, and after reading, I couldn't believe that something so serious had such little awareness. I asked her if she wanted to start a walk to raise awareness for Lyme disease in our community, so we started Lyme Walk Niagara, along with 2 of her other friends who are also battling the disease. I spent my grade 12 year handing out lime green ribbons at school every day, handing out posters, bringing limes to school so I could have my schoolmates take part in the Take a Bite Out of a Lime challenge as a way of raising awareness and advertising the walk. In a newspaper article that was posted about the walk, they quoted me saying, "Lyme disease, it's real. It's out there, and people need to know about it." Little did I know that by people, I was also referring to myself. Not only was I educating those around me, but I was also educating myself. At that point, my pain had gotten so severe. My pain first started in my right knee, but every scan showed that my knee was okay. And then it was both knees, and every scan still came back clear. And then it was both knees, both ankles, both wrists, both shoulders, my back, my neck, my jaw, my fingers, and every blood test, bone scan, CAT scan, MRI, X-ray came back clear that there was nothing wrong with me. My memory was fading at a very high pace. I could not sit or stand for long. Pain, numbness, tingling sensations throughout my body. I was anxious, sad, and angry all the time. My grades had declined. I was tested for MS, sickle cell, arthritis, lupus, and the list goes on, and every doctor I saw had absolutely no answer for me. I was told that it was all in my head and that I was just stressed out. And because of my athletic background, a rheumatologist told me that it was all in my head and that it was all in my head and my body was probably going through withdrawal from not exercising as much as I used to. When a doctor cannot give you a medical answer, there's only one thing you can do. Believe that maybe you really are crazy and making it up. But I wasn't. I knew I wasn't. After the walk, Kamea and her parents said the very words that changed my life. Have they at least ruled out Lyme disease? And that's when it all began. But of course, when I brought it up to my pediatrician, he said, "There's no way you could have Lyme disease," only to find out a few months later from another doctor that I did. All this time, all these years, something that could have been caught early was caught too late. I've been undergoing treatment for almost 2 years now. We first started treating naturally and then we sought antibiotic treatment. I am still on the journey of regaining my health. This is the story of many of us, left untreated and undiagnosed for years. We seek treatment and answers. This is the story of many of us, left Oh. This is the story of many of us, left untreated and undiagnosed for years. We seek specialist after specialist, looking for answers and treatment, only to have the door shut in front of us before we even enter. We spend all our days not only fighting for our health, but fighting our governments and medical system, only to have our voices turned on mute the second we say the four-letter word, Lyme. And they try to quiet us down by publishing a framework that's not even set to be reviewed for another 5 years, but we will not stay quiet. My heart breaks for the thousands, if not millions, in this very... My heart breaks for the thousands, if not millions, in this very country that not only have Lyme disease, but are still undiagnosed and misdiagnosed while their health only continues to deteriorate every second, without answers and left without hope. They are turned away by their family practitioners and their local hospitals, being told that they're crazy and that it is all in their heads, and that all they need to do is drink a little more water and do some yoga. As if water and yoga are going to cure a spirochete infection that was left untreated for over 3 years, giving it time to replicate, switch its antigens, hide in biofilm, lay dormant, and attack the body multisystemically. As if water and yoga will restore the mobility and function in those who have lost their ability to walk, speak, or even think. As if water and yoga will bring back the thousands who have died due to complications after being denied adequate treatment. Back in November of 2016, my new family doctor retested me for Lyme disease for his own reassurance. It has been over 5 months, and my Lyme disease blood results have still not been released from Public Health Canada. They still say pending every time I have an appointment with him. He even mentioned that he had another patient whose Lyme disease blood results they're still chasing after. If my test was negative, it would have been back way before of Christmas of 2016 like they were supposed to. It is now June 3rd, 2017, and my Lyme disease blood results are still being held by Public Health Canada. Now, of course, I don't mind. They can hold my results for as long as they want because I have already been tested, diagnosed, and undergoing treatment by another practitioner. So I don't care about myself. But I have spoken to a few people, and apparently this isn't uncommon in our country. This has happened to so many others. And you know what? Actually, a big part of me does care. I care for the person who was just bitten by a tick and had their whole life ahead of them. I care for that person who went to get a single blood test that could have led to them possibly getting an early diagnosis and a higher chance of effective treatment, only to have their blood results held for over 5 months. 5 months. That is enough time for the bacteria. I'm talking more than just Borrelia burgdorferi. Ticks carry so many different infections. That is enough time to turn an illness that could have been acute, chronic. How can they hold results for over 5 months? Everyone knows that Lyme disease is easier to treat if caught early, but how is that possible if our Lyme disease blood results are being held for over 5 months? And it doesn't help that the ELISA blood test is known to miss about 50% of positive cases. How can a government allow something so inhumane to take place? We have to travel outside of our country to seek treatment not covered by insurance with the hopes of getting our lives back. Doctors here cannot treat us if our illness persists without jeopardizing or losing their licenses. If we were faking being sick, who in their right mind would sell their house, their car, and use up every last dime on treatment, all for the act of pretending to be sick? My best friend, Riley Johnson, lost her ability to walk for almost 2 years. The CDC states that all it takes is 1 month of doxycycline or amoxicillin to cure Lyme disease. We all know that's not true. 1 month of doxycycline is not enough to eradicate a disease so severe, smart, and multisystemic as Lyme disease, especially after being left untreated for so long. 1 month of doxycycline did not give my best friend, Riley Johnson, her ability to walk again. Over a month of doxycycline in combination with other antibiotics gave my best friend, Riley Johnson, her ability to walk again. If you are still looking for answers, don't give up without a fight. You are the only one that can truly feel what your body is going through, and what you feel is real. It is so real. To those fighting for change, you can't give up ever. We can't just let them win. I know it's hard and it feels like change will never happen, and we may lose hope every other day, but we must not stay quiet. Because with climate change on the rise, Canadian scientists are saying that by the year 2020, that's 3 years from now, and let me remind you that the framework is not set to be reviewed for another 5 years. By the year 2020, 80% of Eastern Canada is going to be tick infected. And if they're not listening to us, not changing the treatment guidelines, we have to make them listen. Because the generation that's at the highest risk is the next one. My future children, your future grandchildren. I am fighting now so that the future generation doesn't have to. Now I leave you with a quote from one of my favorite documentaries, Under Our Skin. We may be patient, but we are not patient anymore. Yeah!